Buzzed. There it is. My phone buzzed, and right away I was like, wait, there must be something wrong. My microphone was off. So I am not error free. Let me see what the phone says. I'm going to bet it says my microphone's off. Any bets? No audio. There you go. Uh, anyway, let's see. I don't even know what this one says here. I don't know. Some text. Not from anyone that's telling me my audio's off. Hi. Okay, my audio was off. Welcome to episode number 57. And welcome to day 206 of 2025. 159 days left to go in this glorious year until 2026. And we can say Happy New Year and end this year. I mean, not that I'm wishing my life away. August 1st already coming up this Friday. Summer has been screaming by. I hope everyone's had a good summer so far. Record temperature in Cleveland on this day in 1941, 103 degrees. It's felt like 103 already a couple times this year. So I don't know if that record's going to stand. Personally, I've been way hotter than that, I feel like. Oh, this thing's up. Thursday, last episode. So, well, I mean, of this season, as far as I know, I believe it should be episode 9 of all the episodes, not including the 0.5s in there, 6.5, 7.5. This should be the final episode of season 1 of Day Trippin' with me as the co-star. I think I should get some good TV time on this last one because I was like the entire time doing it because we got called to corporate headquarters. So this would be the one that I actually get like the co-star role where I speak more than one word. I don't speak a lot though. I was very quiet because I was quiet. So it was nice. But yes, so that's coming. That'll be Thursday. I'll get that off there. I have no other screens tonight. I just didn't have time. I cleaned the basement. I know you can't see the disaster that's around me more so than I have shown you in my 7 by 8 foot. But on that side over there, the other side, you couldn't walk because of all the HDMI cables that I had gathered and the just endless amount of power adapters. I mean, seriously, I don't know where I get all these from. I have boxes. I mean, one of these crates back here is filled with them. I've got crates at the old building. I've got crates here. Just everything has adapters. I have so many damn adapters. I've had to take to labeling them if they're specific, like the one for the Blackmagic, the one for the Panasonics. There's just so many. I'm dumbfounded at the absolute sheer volume of stuff. If anyone ever needs an extension cord, please don't go buy it. Ask me. I've got extras. I mean, I have hundreds of extension cords. I am not kidding you at all. Everything from 5 feet to 100 foot. Hundreds. Like, I mean, I could not believe when I started to look for some today, how many I have. They're everywhere too. I mean, I have them in here, in the basement, in the garage, in storage, at the old station. It's nuts. It's almost unfathomable how many extension cords I have, how much money I've spent on extension cords when I could have just looked for them at some point and found them, I'm assuming, because they just keep multiplying. Either that or they're multiplying. One of those others. Okay, so let's see. Today is Korean War Veterans and Armistice Day. Armistice is when they divided Vietnam into 2 parts, North and South. And today is National Korean War Day because today is marks the end of the Korean War. So that's yay, we ended a war a long time ago, but thank you for your service if you're a Korean War veteran. It's also National Scotch Day. Yeah, Scotch, good stuff. Loved the Scotch. I've got some bottles of Scotch and other Scotch things. Highland Scotches, not Lowland. Lowland's too peaty. I never liked the peaty stuff. I was more of a Highland Scotch guy. That was more my thing. National Parents Day. I mean, isn't it everyday Parents Day? It's just a joy being a parent, isn't it? You get to live those moments vicariously through your children and then deal with all the anxiety and psychotherapy that they need years later because you gave them all those joyous moments. National Creme Brulee Day. Didn't have creme brulee, sorry. National New Jersey Day. Well, it's because today is the day that New Jersey was entered into the Union as the third state. Back when. So that, and Love is Kind Day. It showed two swans that their necks made the heart symbol, whatever. Yeah. Perfect. Love is kind. Great. As opposed to love breaks your heart and makes you, cry in the corner and kick and scream. So there you go. Tomorrow, only a couple things. It is Milk Chocolate Day. I'm in. I can do it. I've got milk chocolate. Wait, look. I even had some ready. Because I did snack. I got some Keebler fudge-covered graham crackers. And there's definitely chocolate on that. Made with magic Keebler fudge. I don't want to know what that... Oh, crap. Now they're everywhere. I'll be stepping on those. I don't want to know what Keebler fudge is. Elf fudge, just gross. It's Buffalo Soldiers Day. The soldiers that were from Buffalo. And mostly African-American after the Civil War. So there you go. And National Water Park Day. I've definitely recanted the stories of Action Park in New Jersey growing up. As I've said, if you really, really want to read some crazy, crazy crap, it was basically a water park run by stoned teenagers for stoned teenagers. And that was it. I mean, it really was. These guys were just... It was unrepentant insanity that they allowed this to happen and how they let it happen. It was crazy. We spent a few times there growing up as a kid, and I can tell you from experience of actually being there, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. The stuff that you see, if you read about it, it all happened. You left that place bloody and bleeding if you went down the Alpine slide because it was fiberglass and concrete. And you were in a bathing suit. That's what you went to go do. And they're like, oh, we should do this. This was like a smart idea. Let's ride down this really steep concrete tube in this open cart that you have to basically, the brakes are on or off. There was no sort of in between. And you pushed them you pushed them to be on and off. And it was nuts. Very open. You crashed and blood, burns, scars. Action Park. So definitely look it up. I think there was a movie made about it, but there's definitely enough stories about Traction Park to go around. Water Park Day. I liked water parks going to Zoombezi Bay. I went to Zoombezi Bay a lot. That was fun here in Columbus. The lazy river. We go toward where the far corner, out of the way of all the screaming children. That was kind of my thing. Just hide in the corner, get there early, raise the open, go ride all the rides, and then leave like 2 hours later. That's it. As soon as it got crowded, out. That was the only way to do it. Could not deal with the amount of... I was less tattooed than most, let's put it that way, which people always find shocking that I don't have tattoos. I was a rock and roll guy for 30 years and I'm not a tattooed guy. Just never found anything that I thought was worthy of permanently being with me. I mean, anything. So that's the ADHD. I just can't imagine it. All right, things that happened. Let's see. Historically, 1940, Bugs Bunny debuted on this day. Tex Avery, Bugs Bunny. Now, see, I remember watching Bugs Bunny cartoons. And they were adult cartoons. And there's a couple that I remember that I saw maybe a decade ago. It has been a while. You could watch them late at night. But there was one where he turned, like Bugs Bunny went from Bugs Bunny to blackface. I mean, for real. It was totally just like he morphed to blackface. And it was crazy. So, I mean, that's out there. It's still there somewhere. You can probably find it. And with Gremlin... those are some crazy, crazy stuff that Bugs Bunny cartoons. I mean, Bugs Bunny in drag. I mean, he would get canceled today because of his Bugs Bunny-ness. But that debuted today. Same thing in 1940. Today was also the first day of the Billboard charts of all things. 1940. And of course, it was I Will Never Smile Again, Frank Sinatra. Tommy Dorsey Band with Frank Sinatra. I Will Never Smile Again. #1 and the first Billboard singles chart ever today. Not in any particular order. In 1990, today is the day that Zsa Zsa Gabor went to jail for 3 days for slapping a cop in Beverly Hills. I kind of remember that because it was kind of a big deal. But yeah, 3 days in jail for Zsa Zsa. Nowadays, I don't know. What happens if you slap a cop these days? I don't think it's 3 days in jail. She's getting tased, probably. I'm not sure what else. But yeah, probably just not 3 days in jail. That would be it. 1976, John Lennon got his permanent residency to become an American citizen. He got his green card. Today, he probably wouldn't. He would not be an American citizen. He would be, I don't know, in Florida somewhere, maybe? Hippie, what are you doing here? We're putting you in somewhere else. 1981, Stevie Nicks' debut album and debut solo, Stop Dragging My Heart Around with Tom Petty was on that one, as well as Edge of 17 and Leather Ace with Don Henley. All good songs, all good Stevie Nicks songs. 1982, Little Shop of Horrors is released off Broadway. The Little Shop of Horrors. This one I found funny. 1586, Sir Walter Raleigh brings tobacco back to England from Virginia. I mean, it wasn't Virginia then, but so there you go. That's what Sir Walter Raleigh. Though if you're wondering, like, where did the whole Raleigh thing come from? Raleigh, North Carolina, tobacco, Raleigh cigarettes, all that stuff. Sir Walter Raleigh, you started it, man. You created that addiction across the pond. I'm sure they're thanking you for that one. This I found to be hilarious. I found it. Oh, it's not here. I found a Buffalo nickel, 1927 Buffalo nickel. And I was looking to see if it has any value other than it's cool. And I found it, and I shined it up. It looks pretty. But 1837, the U.S. Mint opens in Charlotte, North Carolina. 7 years to the day, 1844, the U.S. Mint was destroyed in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was like, okay. So they didn't rebuild it? They built it and then they destroyed it. All right. Seems reasonable to me. 1890, Van Gogh dies of suicide. Shot himself. Did not know that. That was one of those facts that wrinkled my brain tonight. I did not realize that Van Gogh shot and killed himself. He died 2 days later. But I mean, I know he was a tortured artist and all, but did not realize he committed suicide. I don't know where that got lost in history to me, but it did. So that's something to think about. A Van Gogh suicide guy. Interesting. Orville Wright invented the first military plane today in 1909. Flew it for 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 40 seconds. I guess that's significant. About 40 miles. But it was the first military plane, I guess, for us, 1909. Who knew? Insulin was discovered on this date in 1921 by a couple of Toronto dudes. I told you about 103 in Cleveland. I told you about the Korean War ending. 1965, right back to the cigarettes, label warnings for health hazards were enacted today. So today, being the same day that England got tobacco from Sir Walter Raleigh, we enacted the rules that you had to have warning labels on cigarette packs talking about the dangers to your health. As you can see, it's done wonders for us. Everybody heeded that warning right away. Bomb exploded on this day in Atlanta at the Olympic Park. And that was Richard Jewell, I remember, was the person that they thought did it. I don't know whatever happened to that. I watched that movie, Richard Jewell. I don't remember the whole story, how it ended. I don't think he was ever found guilty, but he was dogged, and that was, it followed him until his demise, I believe. Yeah, because that's one of those things where, Was it good that he found it? Sure. Was it good that he found it? No. I mean, not for him. Because, did he find it? Did he put it there? I don't know. That's always one of those things. I think it's very hard to be the hero when it comes to things that are stopping momentum in history. Because if there's the chance that you could be the one doing it, absolutely someone's going to accuse you of doing it. That you're the one because you noticed it, you stopped it. That's the way it goes. I was reading something about a friend, Dan Dugan. Dan Dugan used to own stashes. He posted something on Facebook. I don't see Facebook a lot these days. I just have not been doing it. I think I'm clinically depressed. I think we had that discussion earlier today with someone that I am officially clinically depressed because I've been isolating myself. My socialization has been so low in the grand scheme of things if you think about it. But he was talking about how he was leaving supermarket, something, and someone was walking out, two women were yelling, and the guy was walking out with a thing of Reese's peanut butter cups, like a whole packet of them. So he thought mentally, should he do something, not do something? I guess he grabbed the guy's arm. They said, don't grab him, he's got a gun or he's armed. So the guy called him a effing something, and he kind of went on his way. But you always have to think, what would you do in situations like that? Do you intervene? Do you act? Do you get involved? I mean, there's so many consequences for actions, good and bad. You're the hero, you're the villain, or what happens? Do you risk something? Where is that line drawn? I always think about things like that, situations that you're in. Will you do something to act? Will you do something to help? I've done both. I've definitely ignored things and I've definitely helped in things. I think it's one of those, we all have to make our own personal choices when it comes to that, but I really think it's very hard sometimes to think about one's own safety and putting someone else's in front of yours, where other people said, oh, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd do it immediately. And it's like, would you really though? You say that, but would you actually do it? Just something to ponder. When I was driving an ambulance, we had to act quickly in situations that you got into, but there was definitely times where you had to stop. You had to sort of like, wait, going in here is definitely putting myself in harm's way. Can I mitigate some of the risk by not doing it this way? So there was definitely thought in those things. So I definitely did think about those things. Acted, but thought about it. Also, 1993, Siamese Dream by the Smashing Pumpkins was released. I have that gold record. That's one of the things that I did keep. I have the Siamese Dream gold record from the Smashing Pumpkins upstairs. Not one of the ones that will be sold or did get sold. I thought about it more. I am going to have a yard sale from the radio station, so you guys get to hear it first. I will announce the date here, but it's going to probably be within the next 2 to 3 weeks will be the first one. And it's going to be just everything. There may not even be power in the building. I got an electric notice, shut-off notice for the property. It's a lot of money. I can't afford to spend over $1,000 on electric bills. But yes, so I am going to have everything. I'm going to put in much everything from chairs to I will bring a chainsaw and literally cut the bar apart. So if you have such an interest, pay attention. I will post it, and there will be stuff sold that is, memorabilia that won't be around. From the windows that were in between some of the offices that have the 1025 logo on it, to the sign out front, to the railings that have, metal etched into them. So yeah, pay attention. That stuff's coming. I will literally sell everything that's in the damn building. Born on this day, Norman Lear, All in the Family, The Jeffersons. He died in 2023. Yahoo Serious, Australian actor. I forget who he was in. I just remember the name Yahoo Serious. It was something funny. Because you can't have a name like Yahoo Serious and actually be serious, can you? I mean, really? I don't think so. Kelly Waymeyer from Columbus, Ohio, was born today. She's also dead, but she was in 6 Feet Under. Well, I mean, it's low hanging fruit. I'll avoid it. But yes, she's gone. But she was from Columbus, Ohio. I had to Google her and I had to look at her. I'm like, I don't remember her in 6 Feet Under. I guess she was, but Kelly Waymeyer, who knew? What's that? Oh, Marie McGovern. There's got to be a morning after. I believe that was in the Poseidon Adventure. I'm almost sure that's what that was in the original Poseidon Adventure. That song was in there. I'm almost positive. Anyway, Conway Savage of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, born today. Carl Mueller, Soul Asylum, birthday today. Juliana Hatfield, her birthday today, from the Lemonheads, and Juliana Hatfield 3. Always liked the Lemonheads. I always liked Juliana Hatfield. She was very nice. Enjoyed meeting her. Also, Abe Cunningham of Deftones, birthday today. Maya Rudolph, comedian Maya Rudolph, birthday today. And then the person who did the most historical big rooms ever. I believe the number was 8. I think there was a couple that did 7, but no one surpassed the man, the myth, the legend, the #1 big room artist of all times in the radio station, never to be beaten, Pete Yorn. Did 8 appearances in the big room over his expansive career, hanging out at CD 101, CD 1025, and CD 929. He even did one. Now, this is one of the funny ones. He did one of the performances when I was moving the building from 503 South Front Street to the current location that the crap is housed in at 1036 South Front Street. And I was working days at the office, and at night I would go down and tear the building apart. And people would leave and their office would be intact. They'd come in the next day and their door would be missing because I would remove it that night. I took the windows, the studio windows that separated the big room and production and the big room and the actual main studio out and just put plastic up. And Pete was there for one of those plastic window performances where there was no more big glass window between the studio and the big room. Just a big hole, just a giant hole in the wall. Oh yes, those were the days. I do have a video of that building, of the 503 South Front Street building being destroyed. They came with a bobcat and literally just leveled it in 10 minutes. They just drove through the wall, tore it down, tore out the kitchen, like ripped it up, shredded it, drove through the walls where the bathrooms were and everything. It was like, okay, well, that was fun. That was fast. So I'm looking forward to that happening at some point in the not so distant future for 1036 South Front Street. But we'll see. That may never happen at this point. Today in deaths, Bob Hope. He died at 100 years old. There you go. That's what they say. Laughter keeps you alive. So I'm just going to keep laughing, even if it's just to myself. Tony Dow on Leave It to Beaver. It was Wally. Wally died today. Well, on this day anyway. James Mason died on this date today. He was in Heaven Can Wait. He was in a bunch of, what else was he in? I forget, but he was in a Young Einstein, right? That's Yahoo Serious. See, there it is. Don came through. And then Sam Shepard. Sam Shepard died on this date. So that's the stuff that happened on today and all that good stuff. There's nothing really overly connective, the connective tissue, except for like Pete Yorn and Siamese Dream, a couple things. I showed the picture of me with Billy Corrigan the other day. I was his chaperone when I went to do a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. And again, all the stars that were there for this performance, it wasn't for the indoctrination of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it was a performance that they had. So there were tons of artists there, but they all had, young, like, girls doing it. But he specifically wanted a man. He didn't want, one of these little black dressed little cocktail waitress girls. He asked for a man. I don't want a young guy. I was like, oh, okay. So they said, you want to do this, right? I'm like, sure, that'd be great. Sign me up. I'll take care of that. So I was his chaperone. So I got to hang out with him all night and kind of escort him to and from stage and wherever else he had to go to make announcements and things. And as I said, he's a huge like savant memory when it comes to sports stats, which I had not really known. I knew he liked wrestling and a couple of things, but yeah, father of two boys, and he's got that crazy brain where he just knows every single stat about every single player, and just baseball and stuff is just big, big, big. I don't have room for like that in my brain. My brain never had that ability to be like that, to remember all those facts and figures and things. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, we remember everything. We just don't have the ability to extract it sometimes. It's all there. Whatever we see, we implant. It just stays. It just goes somewhere. We just lose where it's at. So AI will help with that. We'll get a little implant and our eye will memorize it. And it'll be something that we can then track a ball later. Somebody else can watch it too, so they can see your memories of what you did today. Oh, so that's what you're doing today. So you told me you were at the store. You were actually at the movies. I see. Your coworkers. So what did you get done today? Oh, I get all this done. It's like, okay, well, you didn't, because at lunch you had 3 martini lunch. And then you went to the movies. Not that I had 3 martinis lunches and went to the movies. On occasion. I mean, why not, right? I mean, it was a long, long history of rock and roll. And that was expected. The 3 martini lunch was expected. It was kind of those Mad Men days. Record label guys with their unlimited, budgets take you out to dinner. It was steak dinners and, bottles of wine and cocktails and concert afterwards, and, hit the bars after that. And that's, it was all on their dime, back in the bad old days. Who could say no? It was hard to say no. Lots of memories that I don't have. I mean, I do, but again, they're in there. Just how do you recall them? You have to see a picture and be like, oh, I don't remember that. When's that from? Somebody just sent me pictures of me as a youth in Watchung, New Jersey. I should pop that one up. I'm not going to do it now because I'll have to get on my phone. But I'm wearing a cowboy hat. And I'm like, when did I was like, oh, wait, that's right. I remember I had a leather cowboy hat for a minute. And I'm like wearing a red coat. And I'm like, when did I wear red coats? I'm like, who is this person? Wait, that's me though. And I was like, okay, that's Watchung, New Jersey. I'm like, right, where the pine forest was. Okay, who knew? But that's sometimes it's those memories have to be triggered by the photograph and somebody else telling you about it. That's I think where it comes from. Not remembering what you did because, well, you did too much. I don't know. At least I'm trying to, create new stories. I do have some friends that they fall back on old stories, and it's nothing but old stories. Do you remember this? I'm like, yes. Every time you talk to me, you tell me that story. I was like, bro, we were together for 20 years. There's other stories, or just don't you remember them? Is it that bad? You don't have any other memories at this point? So that's what I feel that. I feel that. So, that's how this goes. Now, see, this time I caught it. I can see the timer is timing down. So I'm going to change cameras. Since I already had one screw up tonight, I can change cameras and I can talk over there and I can fix this one before it goes black. Okay? So I got it done this time. See, I actually noticed it this time. I didn't let it go. Don't forget, like and subscribe to this. There you go. And look, there's the Death Star. It's still there. I made it level because someone told me they didn't like it being unlevel, but it's level now. At least it was. I had to adjust it. And I don't know if you didn't get to see it last night. I smashed into it last night with my forehead. I was over here and I kind of turned around and didn't see, and I beamed right into it. And I was like, damn it. So I debated on moving the whole studio back. My desk and the desk that's underneath it, because it is kind of a dual desk. If you could see, this is a desk that was at Junior Achievement. This is what we had their radio station studio. I just stepped on that cookie. Crap. I'm barefoot. Remember I said I knocked cookies over and I'm going to wind up stepping on them? I just did. I just shuffled my feet and stepped on that cookie. That's gross. Now I have chocolate and Keebler fudge on my toes. Anyway, this desktop was at the Junior Achievement radio station because they had BizTown. and there was the studios and stuff. So this is one of the ones that we made and brought over there. But underneath it was the original table that I was broadcasting on, and it is one of those like Black and Decker unfolding like tables that you can adjust and move and use as a vise and everything else. And underneath that is 4 milk crates and cans of paint holding it up. So I probably at some point just move some of this other crap out from underneath it so this table can be moved a little bit. But for right now, I can't because everything is so jammed in here. This camera can't really be moved because it's stuck where it is, going back as far as it can on the tripod because there's a big chunk of metal on the floor there as part of my furnace. Because I don't have forced air. I have radiators. I have an old house that has radiators in it. So I've got this giant ass boiler over here that burps and bubbles and moans and groans. And when the heating system comes on, it makes the weirdest noises. It always freaks you out because it sounds like the house is haunted because it makes all these creaky, moany noises. You're like, what is that? It's like ghost noises. And then I've got that camera, which I can't... What crap did I just knock down? See, I've got too much crap here. That camera I can't move because it is literally wedged against the door and the wall of tools, and the other leg of the tripod sticks out so far that if it moves another inch, I won't be able to even walk back here because that's why it's so far away. I would move it closer, but I can't. I literally can't move that any closer, so I had to zoom in a little bit so it's set back because of the fact that it's so wedged in there. And that's why this camera, even because this one's so damn close, because it's literally on the table with me. So I have no room to maneuver or move around. So I did clean, like I said, that side of it. So I may try and rearrange this chaos just a little bit. And I was reminded today that I should name the show The Master of Chaos or The Master of Disaster. Or the Master Mess, because I apparently I'm like a virus of disaster when it comes to making messes of things, where I just start in one place and when I fill up a desk that makes a mess, I just start another desk. I don't clean the other one up. I just kind of overrun this next space. So I guess that's kind of how the modus operandi of my existence has been for the last few decades. Just a master of mess. So yes, I need Marie Kondo so to get here and does it bring me joy? But that's the problem. It all brings me joy. The crap in the buckets brings me joy because I'll find it and be like, oh wait, I love this thing, whatever it is. Like the stuff I found today. Why I have literally crates of power adapters, I don't know. Some of them have literally the oldest connections that are for cell phones that haven't been made for, 20 years when they first came out. I still have those. But you never know when you need it, right? Because this one's 5.2 volts. And if I cut the cord off, I can use it for something that needs to be 5.2 volts, right? Isn't that how it works? Pack rat. I am officially a pack rat. I must give up that and accept that. Yes, your OnlyFans page of stepping on cookies can make you a ton of money. You think? I'm not a feet guy though. My feet are not really great. But I don't know. Someone may be into it. I mean, that could, who knows? If I thought it would make me millions at this point, Don, I'd be happy to do it. I would begrudgingly sell feet pictures stuffing on cookies. Oh man, that's a weird stretch right there, isn't it? I don't know. I'm thinking that one may not fit. That one may not fit into the parameters of what I may stoop to doing. But you never know. You never know. I mean, I'm still waiting to hear back from IMDb because if I can get that little thing in my little acting credit from the movie. And I still don't know if there's acting credits that I can get for this because there is no YouTube as far as I can tell, even though it's a paid for show that someone paid for to have it produced. That it wasn't, like me making it. This was somebody had to pay a production company and everything else. So I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. But you can find out on episode 9, Thursday at 8 o'clock. And again, that would probably be the final episode. I don't know. I mean, of at least the first run. I'm hoping that there's a second run. You never know. There may be. There may not be. I can't tell. Again, nobody tells me anything at this point. I'm completely clueless and in the dark when it comes to any of this stuff. I really am. It just seems that it's I'm living in this parallel existence to what it used to be, so I don't really know. I will try and find out, but I can't tell you if the man in the guy or the guy in the van will return. The along for the ride guy, don't know if that'll return. But I could always start my own series. You know, I could just be the guy in the van, but then that could be great. That could be misconstrued. You know, free candy on the side of the van. That guy in the van. No, don't want to be that guy in the van. Oh man, I definitely stepped on the cookie because now it's like squishing between my toes because it's now stuck to the bottom of it because it's a cookie. So you know, now I have to vacuum up and wipe it up and everything else. So I don't have ants down here crawling all over me and God knows what else. I'll have mice in the basement and, you know, there'll be a whole new thing. I don't need any of that. None of that. I just don't need it. All right, well, it's Sunday, so tomorrow begins the work week again. It is the Ohio State Fair, so I will have to go to the fair at some point. Now, a couple years ago, I went to the fair. They have the helicopter. You can spend like $45 to go on a helicopter ride. It's like an 18-minute ride or something. 8-minute ride, maybe. I think I mean 8. It's just a fast flight. But I did take like 4 GoPros with me, and I like carried them like, you know, like this, and went up and flew, and I kind of edited it. I think it's on the RANDSANITY page. I'll have to find it and see if I can pull that down. But yeah, it was kind of cool. Flying the helicopter, leaving the Ohio State Fair, flew toward the university, went over the horseshoe, flew down south a little bit, looped around, and then came back. For years, they used to actually have the helicopter from Batman, like the Batcopter, the real deal Batcopter would fly from the Ohio State Fair. But then something happened to it, like mid-fair. Nothing like nobody died or anything, but it must have not passed some safety test, and then it never came back. And it was always some other thing. So I don't know whatever happened to that. But that I missed that opportunity because I always said, you know, I should do that. Oh, it's like $45. I should, you know. Blew it. Would have, could have, should have. That's definitely one of the things that I have those, you know, not a ton of little regrets, but that's one. It's like, oh man, I would have definitely liked to fly in the movie prop Batcopter that actually, you know, flew in the Batman series back in the 60s. That would have been cool. But alas, yes, there are no feed sanity. Ew. Oh God. I don't know what that. Yeah, there are no IMDb entries for webisodes, so I think you can. Okay. You know. Oh, there are IMDb entries for episodes, so I think you can. You know, I don't know. It probably will have to be the production company, either All That's Good Production, or maybe Elevate Pictures will have to do that since they're the producers of it, and then give me the credit. I don't think I can enact and start doing that whole thing myself because I'm just you know, talent or the driver, co-star, but not the production company. So I'm sure they'll have to do it. I'm sure they will at some point. You know, this is what they do. You know, All It's Good Productions in New Jersey, or Philly. Sorry, my apologies. South Jersey, but in Philly. And then Elevate Pictures is here in Columbus. Hence how I got the gig in the first place. So there you go. There you have it. That's all that's good at the moment. Yeah, I just got a bunch of crap on my desk because I was cleaning up and I just found all this other crap. I found my other GoPro, my good one. I didn't know where this one was. This is like the most recent one I have. It's a 9. I think they're like 14 now. But this one has a little camera and the little screen in the front so I can actually see what I'm doing. So it makes for being a good selfie GoPro. So I'll have to do that. I just have to get better at doing it. I used to carry it with me all the time and get stuff. And I have so much video. I was downloading. I found a couple of SD cards. I also cleaned up my backpack today. So in my backpack, again, yes, I'm vain. We'll get there. Okay, we'll admit it. I have a hairbrush. I have hairspray because I primp. What do you want to do? Sweaty day, I do it. So I've got toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, antiperspirant, cologne, all that good stuff. But the toothpaste burst at some point, so it's everywhere inside this backpack, just like gross white sticky minty crap everywhere. And I was cleaning it out and I was like about to really wash it out, and I found an SD card, like one of the mini ones, stuck in the corner. I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? So I cleaned it up and watched it, and I didn't shoot it. It's a promotion we did for like the art hop or whatever it was in Delaware, and it's Natasha who did all the shooting of it. I was like, oh, so I haven't really watched it. And then there was another one that's just my car cam. It's the dash cam. So I don't know if I saved it for a reason, but it's, the problem is it has like 100 5-minute entries in it. So I'm going to have to kind of buzz through and see if there was something of significance. Because I had a dash cam in my car when I had a car. And I recorded crashes and wrecks and stupid crap, because it would, record in it this flow where it would go in 5-minute chunks, but it would erase the oldest one after about 4 days. Because if I was driving 8 hours, obviously it would replace it. But if you weren't, you could just stop and remove the SD card from this thing. I actually got that one for free. They gave it to me as a promotional thing. They wanted me to test it, which I was like, sure, I'll totally test it. And then talk about it, on one of the socials, which I did. But yeah, I got it for free and it was awesome. But I don't have one now. I miss that because I always see crazy crap while driving. I was driving back when I came back from Asheville yesterday. I talked about that yesterday. What a great time that was. Anyway, it was pouring rain out and I caught a really good lightning strike, but you can't see it on the camera. It didn't do a good job catching it. I'll have to look and see if maybe it's not the one I thought it was, because I thought I saw a much better one. Visually, I thought I saw it, but maybe the camera didn't catch it the way I saw it anyway. Because I've caught a couple lightning strikes. There's one that I posted that was, I was at the radio station and it exploded and hit the wire right behind the building and blew up the transformer and everything else. And the building got struck one time, and there's a video of me, talking about, the lightning struck the building right next to me, and then you can see the fire department as it pulls up to the building because it fried everything in the building. All the electronics that were on that side of the building were just done. So we had to do an insurance claim, and everything was just toast. And it smelled like fire. So I was like, okay, we're calling the fire department because I smell burned stuff. That electronic smell, if you ever smelled burnt electronics, has that very distinct sort of plasticky, wiry smell. I was like, yeah, let's call them because I don't need this building to burn down. I mean, I would never want the building to burn down. Let me emphatically state that on public record. Okay, so to get an IMDb for you, you need to submit to the title IMDb best, web series depending on the nature of your show, or you need to provide information like the title, date release, link, show, YouTube, whatever. Okay, there you go. Perfect. Then I will do that. I can work on that. But I mean, they'll probably want to do it because they have more information than I do. But yeah, no, that's great. I will talk to Elevate Pictures tomorrow and be like, hey, are you guys going to submit this to IMDb or what? That is what my post-it notes are here for. So I'm going to write this here. Elevate IMDb. So I will talk to them tomorrow. I'll send them a message. And I'll maybe get some actual confirmation if it is in fact the last episode, number 9, this Thursday. Because if you remember, I talked about it a while back, if you paid any attention, that I talked about, they said we're going to do a final showing at the Gateway Film Center on that Thursday, the 17th of July for episode 9. They're going to show them all, and then the conclusion, I was going to go and be there and host it or something because I'm here locally. Apparently, that didn't happen because they had those 0.5 episodes in there. And I've heard nothing about it, and that would be Thursday, and I don't know if I can get myself in gear or invite anybody that would even care to show up on Thursday. Because I was also going to make RANDSANITY t-shirts for people, But again, that requires me to have them made. So, no clue. No clue what's happening in my life. Unfortunately, I have no control of my own existence half the time. And right now we're in that half of the time of no control of my own existence. Anyway, that's where we're at. Okay. So I did actually start working on a title card. Because I figured it has to be about 30 seconds. That because like I said, the first 15 seconds always seems to be, I don't know when it actually starts. So if I do a title card that's about 30 seconds long, I can do that. So I was trying to edit together using CapCut a bunch of stuff, and I'm still trying to find out what the copyright stuff is. If I can put up pictures, or where do I get dinged for copyright? Because I know, like when we would do the big rooms for the radio station, all those songs were copywritten. They would just get claimed by the record company, so we couldn't make money off them. But we never got dings for it. So I don't know where that comes from. I'm not sure how that is, and I tried to read that and I can't figure that one out. The Batcopter is safe in its Florida hangar, getting clean and inspected regularly every day when it will be available to take flight again. Apparently, coronavirus grounded the Batcopter. Well, that would be doing it. But yes, it did. I mean, if you look, it did fly in Columbus. That's the thing. It did fly here. I'm just bummed that I didn't get a chance to do it. I wish that's the one they would have gotten here. Because that was dumb. Should have done it. But yeah, that's one of those things. Like I don't know. I don't know when that's gonna happen again. Who knows? And I just lost my train of thought. Crap. Oh, the intro. So the intro and the outro is something I guess you just do an end card, like, subscribe, follow, like, whatever. But I assume if you're here, you're already getting the notifications. So I don't really need that because these aren't like things that I'm posting since it's live. But I guess I could do it anyway. And I was supposed to edit these things, but again, I just haven't had the time to do it. That means I have to sit down and look at this stuff. I just need to get one of the large TVs that I have at the radio station and bring it down here and make an editing suite out of it so I can actually do it without having to look at the teeny little picture inside all the mechanics that you have to go through to edit. Right? That would be great, wouldn't it? That would just mean I need another place to do this because I only have a 7 by 8 foot space in this entire house that is mine to do as I choose. So, such is life. The Batcopter. But I will find that episode and see if I can download it and I can play it because it was okay. It was kind of cool. I put music to it and everything. I think I did reasonable editing. Like I said, I think it's on the RANDSANITY page. I'm almost sure it is. I'll look. I'll have to download it. I don't know if I can download it. There is downloaders. I've read how to do it. I just haven't done it yet. We'll figure it out. All right. Well, me and my cookie feet are going to go because I have to get up and work again tomorrow because it is a Monday. And I'm going to get right back to the grind. I'm finally zeroing in on the completion of this house that I've been renovating. The third floor is done. All the bedrooms are done. I have basically the bathroom and the kitchen to do, which will be the big pushes. Bathroom is going to be pretty easy. I'm going to demo that out pretty fast. And then the kitchen is going to be the one that's going to be the nightmare because it needs a full gutting down to the, basically, I don't know if I can even keep the plaster in some of this because I'll take some pictures of the before and after this one. The rest of the rooms were just, it's just a room that I had to repaint and do some stuff, nothing super exciting. But the kitchen gutting will have to be one that I'll have to document because they had these faux bricks as the backsplash and they adhered them right to the plaster. So as I took a faux brick off, it ripped the plaster out down to the bare lath. And I'm like, okay, well, that's going to make an absolute freaking mess because it's everywhere. Like the walls are covered with it. So yeah, I'm learning how to do all sorts of construction-y things. Yay me. Teaching old dogs new tricks. I appreciate you all. Truly I do. You have no idea how I appreciate this. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your help there with stuff, Mr. Don, the idea guy. Appreciate all your links and input there. The secret producer himself. Have yourself a great beginning of your week tomorrow. Remember, August is coming, and yeah. And I ran into someone that, if you're ready for this one, they have the flu. I guess the flu, like the flu. He has influenza B. I was like, what? What the crap? How do we get the flu in the summertime? I thought that was like when you're cold and inside. But I guess the flu's making a comeback right now. Influenza B. What the crap? No idea. Crazy. I'll try and avoid that, as I think you should too. Have a good evening. I'll see you all again tomorrow, or not, or sooner. Who knows? Be well, take care, do good things, and that's about it. As I say per usual, we will in fact fade to black. Wait, did I hit that button already? Oh, I did. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to. It's back. My finger. I literally reached over and I hit it. Did not mean to. Now it did, because I only see this screen. I don't see that screen. I'm back. No, I'm leaving. Crap. Just mistakes. Pilot error. Fade to black. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. End stream.